I knew it. Another Herdat Media production.
Hi, Chantel.
Hey, Roxanne.
Hey.
What is going on?
So, you guys, funniest thing ever that we need to discuss before we get into the Beverly Hills recap, which I'm actually excited to be recapping the more I think about how the premiere went. And I don't like premieres, Chantel. I don't think Chantel likes premieres either.
Yeah, they're usually really boring.
Yeah. But you guys, we had put this on our Patreon and everyone was laughing, so I have to discuss this because we're going to be talking about it. But Chantel, I had texted Chantel because I'm taking my kids to see Santa on Thursday, and I booked it the same time that my husband he has a standing haircut appointment Thursdays at 6:30. He used to have them Saturday mornings, and then he switched it up because Charlie had soccer Saturday mornings and he wanted to go to the game. Totally forgot about it. It was a whole thing on Halloween too, where he had to move his hair appointment and everything. And the guy he goes to is really booked. Anywho, so I am taking my 4 kids to go see Santa at our Somerset Mall. It's like the nicest mall that we have. And it's 5 minutes away from Chantal's house as well. And so I texted Chantel and she didn't know that I was going to like share any of this. And I was like, hey, can you come with me on Thursday to Somerset Mall? I want to have the kids take a photo with Santa. I did schedule it at 6:30, and I forgot Jacob's haircut appointment is on Thursday at 6:30, and I put a crying face. And I was like, but I can't go alone, ... crying face. And she's like, yeah, that's fine. And
I said, yeah, that's fine. Let's make sure we don't switch up my tone.
Okay, so the thing about text is you never really know people's tone, but all she said was, yeah, that's fine. Keep in mind, one of my children is her goddaughter. And it's like, that should be something that you want to see. You want to see my kids with Santa Claus.
Oh my God, you guys, I can't wait for the day that I have kids and Roxanne comes.
That's completely different.
No.
First off, I will be very happy because at that point, my kids are a little bit older. They're going to be like obsessed with your kid, being annoying all over them, want to taking care of them.
If we're still doing this, y'all, we'll report back.
So what do you mean if? Why would you say that?
I mean, like 8 years, like we'll see.
8 years?
No, I'm just saying, like
she's about to have a baby in 8 years. Oh my gosh, por favor, no. Anyway, so she just responded and she's like, yeah, that's fine. And so I respond and I go, ugly ass response. I said, ugly ass response. And then she responded and
really? You want to make your tone very nice?
And then she responded and she's like, because I hate desperate energy.
Because my perspective, I'm at work, I see these like 4 text messages. She's like, just ask me without like trying to give me the story, and like I would say yeah, and it's like this thing is right by my house anyway, so like she knew probably I would most likely come. Sound like I had to like drive an hour for it, so like yeah, I would come.
Well, I was almost going to be like, do you want to come to my house and help me get the kids ready? But I knew that was
that's pushing it.
I knew that was a little bit of a stretch. We lived 25 minutes away from each other. Yeah. So
then she put it on the Patreon, and like you guys, everyone had like 95% of people had my back. Yeah, they were just like, yeah, that's a normal response. Like it wasn't ugly. They said, don't take it personal. They were like, and they were just cracking up. They were like, you guys are so funny because people were like, damn, Chantel's hardcore. I'm like, yep.
Yeah. And then it was funny because one of our Patreon listeners were like, that's legit combos I texted my family when they respond with a K. So there were some people that responded, but they were all cracking up, but they're like, wasn't an ugly response. And I'm like, no, that was so ugly, because she could have been like, oh, that's all I wanted her to say. Because some of you are going to be like, what did you want her to say?
Yeah, what did you want me to say?
Because some people on Patreon were like, Roxanne, relax. And I knew, I wrote, when I posted this, I said, I fear most of you are going to agree with Chantel here, but I'm still going to ask. And someone was like, what did you want her to say? And I was like, well, I wanted her to say, oh, that's cute. Yeah, I'll be there. Or yeah, that's fine. Oh, that's cute. Just, a little maybe just add an AW. And I'd be like,
okay.
And I was a little scared. And I don't need negative energy when we're doing this because I'm already going to be on 10 and be very, flustered with one of my kids like
No,
getting
I'm happy.
kidnapped or something.
I have a haircut appointment that day. I'm gonna hop in some of the pictures. Like, let's go.
No, because last year I took my mom and honestly, it was of no help. And I called Chantel after and I was like, that was the worst experience of my life. And this year my mom was like, she's like, because the girls were telling her, she's like, because again, my mom lives at my house. So she doesn't, but she does. And she was like, you need to take someone. And I right when I heard her say that, I was like, oh my God, she wants me to take her. But you know what? I have a short fuse because again, my brain is on 10, these little kids, all this stuff. And when I am with my kids and like, I need help. And if my mom is just kind of standing around and she's like, go get your kid or look what your kid's doing and not helping, that gives me more anxiety and it's not helpful to me. And I sound super ungrateful. I really do because like I am so grateful that my mom was 5 minutes away from me and she can help me. But with things like that, I can't do it. I can't do it, you guys. So when she said you need to bring someone if Jacob's not coming, I said, oh my God, let me text Chantel right now. Let me text her right now. Cause this would have been last type of resort. Love you, Mom, if you're listening to this, but
Yeah, so we'll report back on Thursday night and
yeah, you did cut off a little bit, Chantel.
Oh, I was like pulling a piece of hair from my laptop and I was like, we'll let you know on Thursday night when we report back, and I muted myself by mistake.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that is going to be tomorrow, but it's at 6:30 and we are going to be recording.
Okay, I'm really scared that people know we're gonna be there at a public place at 6:30.
I know, because someone on our Patreon was like saying they're like, oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna stop by there. And
That's fun, but like
that's
now,
fun, but
yeah.
now they're scary people. We have some trolls on, it's scary. And they seem to still talk about us, even if so it is a little scary, but I have my 4 kids, so step away. And there's a lot of police, there's a lot of cops, at Somerset. Okay.
I'm gonna
It's
find
a very
one, like,
nice family mall. Yeah. I know. And you know what, Chantel, when I was saying this, I was a little, some people who are local, they don't understand because they're not on all our social medias or they don't know what's like happened with trolls and stuff. But it's scary, you guys. So I was going to cut off the time just in case, because I swear, man,
Maybe
we've been
we
through it.
I don't know.
Oh my. Okay, stop. Now you're making it a thing. So someone's going to like boss up on us and
I
be like,
know.
as soon as we get done from the Santa, they're going to be like, Roxanne, Chantel, and my kids are going to be like, what is this? I'm just kidding. All right. So let's go into the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills now. Chantel, what did we think about Beverly Hills?
I still didn't like the first episode. Like I just think that there was like a lot of dragging from last season, which sometimes usually happens. But the only storyline I really want to know and really like is like the whole Dorit and Kyle. Like I really want them to get out of it. That's interesting to me. But everything else is no.
So I didn't write actual notes. I just have, main points that I want us to talk about from the episode. And I will say, I like Erica Jane. I do like her. Okay. The thing is, I don't watch The Real Housewives because I want to see a single person who there's no man in the picture, no woman in the picture. There's no family in the picture. I don't like that. And now with Dorit getting separated, they're all single. It could be fun because let's think New York. It could be fun. Like everyone loves New York. Everyone loves those ladies. But these ladies are not like New York ladies. They would never, OGs I'm talking about, they would never let their hair down like how New York has.
Yeah, like they're not gonna get in this like toxic, like crazy relationship. Like they're so scared to do that.
Yeah, and it's at a point where, the show, there's certain things like Kyle's like, do not read my text message out loud. Kyle's biggest thing with Dorit is she read a private text. If you're my friend, you're not going to do that. So there are certain things you can and you can't do, which I understand because Chantel, I always try to think about it, whether you like Kyle, Dorit, whatever it is, I always try to think about, but I don't believe Kyle and Dorit were ever this close. I believe that Kyle dealt with Dorit and wasn't fond of Dorit's personality because Dorit's personality is hard to deal with. So I think she tolerated her for the show. And let's keep, Dorit went against Lisa Vanderpump for Kyle Richards. So I don't know. But
she kind of says it. Like, I mean, she kind of like
last reunion.
Well, no,
Oh,
she said
okay.
last reunion, she kind of said, like, when do we ever go out to lunch when we're not filming? Like, when do we do this? And she's like, multiple times, she's like, name them. Like, when? She's like, name them. Like,
Yeah.
basically, 'cause she's like, we're not friends outside of the
That's what I'm
show.
saying. And that's why who said that? Kyle or Dorit?
Kyle said that.
Kyle said that, yes, but I feel like it's because of Kyle's choosing and that she would prefer to just be a friend with Dorit over. And again, I don't blame her because like Dorit's a lot, Chantel. So it would be hard to be friends with Dorit.
I like her. I like Dorit.
I do have points to say about how disappointed I am with how people reacted to Dorit's separation. But Chantel, like, those friends that I don't know if Dorit's like this, but those friends that constantly just talk about themselves and they're
Yeah,
constantly talking
yeah.
and they don't ask you about you and your life
She is
and you're
very
like,
long-winded and like,
it's like, get to the point,
she clearly does have a listening problem, and that listening problem has been showed in her friendships, has now showed in her divorce.
Yeah.
Like, PK even said she doesn't listen. And it's like, she
Oh my
clearly
God,
has
that
like,
was bad. He shouldn't have said
I
that.
know, especially because
Because
that's like a
now
thing the
he's
ladies,
saying that.
yeah,
Exactly.
like the ladies have that on her. So it's like very,
See, but
sad.
PK's dirty for that because now that you're separated, you're going to sit here and go and say that Dorit has a problem listening, knowing that all the girls are going to use that against her. However, Dorit's calling him an alcoholic every chance that she gets. And I'm like, is that dirty?
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. This time of year is all about gratitude, and I want to take a moment to shout out someone important in my life, someone who helps keep me things in perspective. And that girl is Roxanne. We are together through thick and thin, and she deserves a shout out and for me to tell her how important she is in my life. But another person we don't always take time to appreciate is ourselves. It's not easy navigating life's ups and downs, and sometimes we forget to give ourselves credit. That's where therapy can come in, helping us develop coping skills, set boundaries, and just feel more empowered. If you've ever thought about starting therapy, BetterHelp is a great option to try. It's completely online, designed to fit your schedule, and super convenient. You can get matched with a licensed therapist by filling out a quick questionnaire, and if it's not the right fit, you can switch at any time with no extra charge. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/TRH to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TRH. I think like telling the truth is what we need. They're on the show. They've been on it for a long
True.
time. Like, if that really is the truth, like, I'm 100% positive that the truth for her is that he is an alcoholic. Like, that probably contributed to like a lot of ups and downs in the relationships, and then doesn't know when she's gonna get, when he's drinking, when he's not drinking, and then all of a sudden when he's sober, she's like, ugh, like, like, this is like, and he's like now on top of things and now wants to do things, and she's like, whoa, like, this is a lot, and they're arguing.
It's weird because she makes it like he is sober. And then, or like he's on his recovery to sober, but then she is saying that he's an alcoholic. But if he's recovered and he's sober, then what's the issue? Because the issue sounds like because he was an alcoholic, they would fight. And then she's like, little children shouldn't, be around this. However, let's make it very clear. The reason that they've separated, I don't think has to do with Dorit and because he was an alcoholic. It's because, like she said, PK is very black and white. So he goes from one extreme to the other. So they keep fighting. They're doing it in front of little children. And she's saying it's a problem. But it sounds like PK went straight to the separation. And she made it clear that it was him who called it.
And I think what happens too is like a lot of, especially this happens with guys, is that when they find this like young, fun person, and like we are fun, okay, we're all mostly really
So
fun.
true.
And then like we're excited, we're fun. When you have kids, okay, you lose that. You lose that energy. It is what it is. Like you're exhausted. And maybe you grow up a little bit. You don't find fun in going out every night with talking to people. Like that sounds invincible to me. Like having to talk to PK's friends every night and like party, and she has these kids. She wants to be home with these kids. She wants to put them to bed. Like that is probably also what really, like he said it, he kind of said it, but it's like, why don't they realize that that's going to happen? Like, it's like they put so much emphasis on having fun, and like you could do that once in a while, but it's like, give her some grace, give her like, she doesn't want to do that anymore.
But that's why you have to be almost strategic about who you marry. You don't marry the guy
know.
who likes to go out and party all the time.
If you're not like that, low-key.
Yeah, I made it a point that I knew, Chanel, we both knew, but to me, this is very important. I never wanted a guy that we would see, Chantel, who was older so Birmingham is like the hangout, let's say, who was in Birmingham every single week. Like to me, that is so embarrassing. That is so gross. Nothing grosses me out more than seeing a married man in one of those places where all the like young 20-year-olds are at, and they're there every week. Now, if they have like one boys' night and they happen to
Yeah.
go to a hip place, that's fine. I'm not talking about that. But like an every week thing where you knew that even before the guy was married, that he was out there every week, I'm embarrassed for you. You're a loser. I don't care how successful you are. You're a loser. I'm sorry. I could not, or maybe it's just me. I can't marry a guy like that. I like a homebody, occasionally goes out to celebrate his birthday with his friends. Maybe, but I'm like that too. Like I'm like that as well. You know, you can, or go to your friend's house, but going to the places where girls go to hopefully find a guy is so scary to me.
Yeah, and I just think like they definitely grew apart. I agree with
Yeah.
that, by the way. And like they definitely, and like especially if you're not like that, it's like let's not marry someone like that. But
Yeah.
you know, it's like so
You'll
it's
be
like
miserable.
yeah, but like maybe she did have fun with him in the beginning and like he loved that and like they were just like in this like whirlwind. But you could definitely tell that they're very different people, but I still feel like they love each other. But like again, maybe she's like she keeps using the term like we're best friends, and it's like okay, no one wants that for a relationship. Like you don't want to always just be best friends with somebody.
Right. No, I agree. So, yeah, so I don't know. You actually made a really good point there. What else happened throughout the episode? We
Well,
meet.
I think the biggest thing, one of the biggest things is like this party. So,
Yeah, but I want to talk about
something,
the new housewife.
yeah, didn't we meet her at the party or was that
Yeah.
other, yeah, okay.
How do you say her name?
Bo?
Okay, so they just call her Bo, but her real name is Bozoma.
Oh, okay. I don't
But
know.
but but you're saying they just called her Bo because I didn't catch it.
Yeah, I feel like they just
Did
called her
they?
Bo. Yeah,
Okay,
what I
let us know,
remember.
guys. I love her.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, boss ass. But wait, is she married? Does she have kids? Did we find that out?
No, not yet.
Okay. I love her energy. I love that she's a boss.
Well,
She's a
no.
corporate
Oh, yeah.
girly.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. We did. Like, she's a widowed.
Oh, yeah, she's a widow.
Yeah,
Yep.
she has
Okay. Yeah.
kid. I'm pretty sure she has kids, and she was widowed. So yeah.
And see, her thing was so interesting. And this is not, I'm sorry, like this is, I don't want to be offensive either because it's interesting. But then, I mean, she was with the man and they got separated, but then he got sick. So
Yeah.
they reconciled, which I think most people would do because, you know, he's vulnerable, he's sick. I'm sure they're not fighting about anything. And then she became a widow. And I am intrigued. I am interested. I think she's beautiful. I think she's a boss. I love her energy. I think she's not
It's
going to
funny.
hold back.
Yeah,
None
it's
of that
funny how
stuff.
she clinged to Dorit right away. Like she loved Dorit right away. So it's like I'm very interested to see how that like changes her other dynamics with other ladies. Like, is she gonna be a bitch to Kyle? Is she gonna like like that? Or is
I,
she?
I I can't see that, but they both opened up to each other right away.
Yeah, and they did have a lot of similarities. They're the same age. They got a divorce around that same time, like the 10-year mark or like almost.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like seems like it's something where you can connect with somebody. And like they both clearly love fashion or do it all. Like she was so extra at the event, like in a great way. Like everyone loved what she did with her hair and all those things. So and Dorit's like that too.
Yeah, I absolutely loved her. And I'm like, wow, they finally nailed it. I mean, obviously with Sutton, they nailed it, but I was like, this is a good
No,
one.
I'm not a Sun fan and you guys can come for me hard, okay?
They're gonna come for you,
They
Chantel.
do
People
every
protect
year.
Sutton.
I
People
know they
protect
protect her.
Sutton. Yeah.
I know, I don't care because she bothers me.
Yeah. Well, what did you think about, was there anything? Well, like, okay, yeah. So she's throwing this party. It kind of seemed a little demonic, no? Or what was that?
I don't know. It's like artsy fartsy stuff and like
I don't like that.
I just don't know it. So it's like, it's like wouldn't I like to dress up. So like if you told like I wouldn't even understand how to dress up for this event. So like if you they had to tell me strictly like what to do. But yeah, it was a lot.
I will say, oh my gosh, someone had reached out to me and she was like, I feel like Beverly Hills is very Illuminati. And I was like, why do you feel that?
Oh,
I was like, why do you feel that? But I thought it was actually pretty funny because we always like talk about Hollywood and stuff. But
they're the
I will
closest to it.
I know.
So
I know. I will say when Sutton had that performer and Kyle Richards was just staring at her, like Erica and all of them pretending like they love her, love the performance. And Kyle's like, what the hell is this? Like, I am
yeah.
Kyle in that situation.
Yeah. Kyle still is gonna remain always someone I love and just I hope I'm mostly everyone loves. But I what did you think about Kyle and Sutton reconciling, like how they did? Like apparently, Sutton calls her, they had a heart to heart. Like Sutton was a really, really shitty friend last year. And it's like, how is it just going to be over one conversation and like you guys are cool again? Like she
I
dragged you.
don't think it was like that. And I think Chantel, the viewers, sided with Sutton in that because they felt like Kyle wasn't being vulnerable. And I get it because it was all so new. So I am appreciating that this season. Because I will say, last season, I love me, Kyle. Last season, she annoyed me too, where she wasn't just, come on, like, you did. Garcelle made a good point. You weren't helping the situation when you did the music video. I will give Garcelle that. Like, you weren't helping that situation with the whole Morgan stuff. They're obviously not together anymore, but she was not helping the situation at all with that. So Sutton, people wanted answers. It was like all over. So I get that. I don't believe Sutton and Kyle were these best friends that they portray to be. I think that Sutton was a fan favorite. And it's like one of those things with Lisa Vanderpump where you have to tread lightly with them. And so for Kyle, it's better to have Sutton on her side than not have her on her side. And then at times they have fun with each other. But I do feel like if it wasn't for the show, can I see Kyle and Sutton actually be real friends? I don't think Kyle would care to be friends with her.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they are maybe though, low key.
Yeah,
And like
maybe.
the one thing that I thought was funny, Sutton, she's like, I'm online shopping and I couldn't send it to her. Like that's so real, It's like when you're doing something and reminds you of a friend and you're like, shit, like we're mad at each other, I can't even send it. So that was funny to me. But yeah, like I hope I see a different side of Sutton this season because she like rubs me the wrong way, like the way she moves, and I don't like it.
We have said that. I will say I was a Sutton stan first season against that whole Crystal stuff. And that secured her first. She was supposed to be a friend of that season. But yeah, I'm scared to say. I'm sorry, guys. I'm scared to say it. So I'm not going to talk much about Sutton. So Dorit, let's talk about her separation. She and everyone's reaction to the separation. What did you think about that, Erica? What do you think about Erica like crying?
I feel like it is like I feel like Erica is like it's funny because Erica's like the true friend of between Kyle and Dorit this season, or like in general, like they really all have a friendship. That's like they've been with each other for so long. So like I do feel like for her to cry, it's like sad. It's like it's a big deal, and I feel like people were like almost making fun of Sutton or making fun of Dorit and PK's like they weren't taking it as serious, maybe because it followed Kyle's and Mauricio's, and no one was taking it as serious as like I think they should.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good point, Chantel. I feel like, well, Mauricio and Kyle, like, were the it couple, whereas
I know, and like,
there were,
or there
but
wasn't more of a
still,
scandal or something. And it's like, okay, like you guys, this is the marriage that like this is what we've seen. Like they came on the show together. They've been together for 10 years of marriage or however long. And it's sad. I think it's really sad that they came to this spot. Like people don't realize like, and maybe it's gonna be okay more for. Oh, I wanted to mention this. Like, Dorit has young kids, so she's gonna stay busy. And like, you see how Kyle already is like, okay, it's just me and Portia, and I feel alone. It's like you're gonna feel that. Like, Portia's gonna leave, and you're literally gonna be there alone. And that's like when you start to regret things. You're like, shit, did I do the right thing?
you always think the grass is greener,
I know.
and a lot of the times it's not. But especially because her and Morgan didn't even work out. It sounds like she confirmed this relationship and that Morgan was freaked out by all the fame or by the whatever. And it's like, okay, well, Morgan, that happened initially in the beginning. So if that was the case, then why did you continue and have Kyle fall for you? And Kyle was nervous about it. She was nervous about these feelings and all this stuff. And she did open up about that.
Oh yeah, I think. What did you feel? How she like told Garcelle, and Garcelle was calling her out.
Yeah, I mean, I think Garcelle had a point, though. I will give Garcelle.
Yeah.
I do. I think Garcelle had a point. But I think it was all just so fresh, so new. She was scared, those type of things too. But so let's go to Kyle and Dorit. So Kyle is mad at Dorit for reading that text out loud. And then she talks about the Watch What Happens Live BravoCon thing where we were front row for that, by the way. We were literally front row for that. And where they asked, who's your favorite Richard sister? And Dorit drank up. Dorit has gotten close to Kathy. Chantal, would you be upset at that?
Well, she made it as like a joke because like, like she spilled on her and she's like, well, now for sure Kathy is, So she made it as a joke. So it's like, Kyle, you're being very sensitive.
I thought so too. I don't know. She also didn't like that at the reunion, Dorit was being the middle person between Kathy and Kyle and was like, Kyle, I think what Kathy's trying to say. And Kyle's like, shut the hell up, Dorit.
100%. Like I agree with Kyle in that situation. It's like, shut up, stay in your lane. Like, don't talk.
Okay, you do.
Yeah, because she knows like that relationship is so volatile with her and her sister. It's like it's up and down. It's like you siding with her is not helping me, and you're supposed to be my friend. Like you're supposed to be my best friend.
Yeah. No, okay. And so the reason that Dorit is upset is that, after all these type of things and how she felt like Kyle, maybe it doesn't try with her as much or whatnot. Kyle went on an Amazon Live and she basically said that we're not close friends like Dorit thinks we are. And she downplayed their friendship and that hurt Dorit quite a bit. So who do you think is wrong in this? Like who I don't know. Who are you feeling is wrong?
I think, like, to me, it's like Kyle's feelings are more real. Like, she feels like they're not as close as they are. And I think that upsets Dorit. But Dorit, to me, is stretching when she keeps saying she's manipulative. Like, see what she does manipulative. Like, for her to even think maybe Kyle sending out a text, like, after they found out about the separation is manipulative, like, then you guys weren't real friends then. Because why would you think that? So, like, to me, it's like I almost feel Kyle is more true in like what her issue is with their friendship than Dorit is.
But on the other hand, I would be kind of upset if, someone said that our friendship really was like a friendship of convenience or something. I would be hurt.
Yeah, I
I don't
think
think Dorit has many friends. I really
yeah,
don't.
and I think like if it sucks because it seems like Sutton and Kyle can just sit down and get over it and like they're cool, but it's like why can't you guys sit down and like hash it out and just say sorry to the parts that you guys need to say sorry for and like try to move on? It seems like they don't even want to do that.
So I have a take right now, Chantel, and I'm scared to
Uh-huh.
say this take. Okay. I'm scared. I'm very, very scared of you viewers. Okay. But this is an unpopular opinion. And again, I'm a little scared to say it, but I'm not the biggest fan of Garcelle. I don't think she's right for the show. I don't like her response to finding out about Dorit's separation. So, Chantel, you see on the after show, Garcelle talks about it and she says that she saw the announcement of the separation. She read it and then she was like, okay, well, now I got to go to work. So what we're not going to do is we're not going to forget that Dorit laughed when Garcelle's son was getting yelled at by Erica because that was gross. But Dorit apologized. Garcelle forgave her. And you don't do what you don't like being done to you. So Garcelle had told Dorit she was going to move forward. And no matter who it is, a supportive text would be nice when you're going through one of the hardest moments of your life. And Garcelle laughed it off. And we did find out that majority of the cast, with the exception of Erica, and then later on Kyle reaching out, did not reach out. And I don't know how I feel about that because sometimes we just have to be the bigger person when something horrible is happening to another person.
Yeah, and I think that's like why I feel like everyone like just brushed it off like it wasn't a big deal. And like they knew they were going through problems and they got back and then it's like almost they were like, "Oh, okay, that sucks for her." And it's like then you guys are shitty people. Like you guys are on this like job.
Yeah.
It's like you're in a job with somebody at the end of the day. Like so it's like Garcelle, you wouldn't text a coworker and be like, "Oh, I heard this is happening. I hope you're okay." Like if you were coworkers with
Yeah.
somebody, it's just like all of them. I think it's really shitty for all of them not to do that. And first of all, like if anyone needs to be really mad still, it could be Dorit with Garcelle because she literally accused her at the reunion of like faking her robbery. Like when we all know people were doing that, but it's like for your castmate to do that was another big deal. So it's like
Yeah.
yeah, they're very dirty to each other. But I think like if something like crucial happens in your life, like you should at least be a little sympathetic.
Absolutely. So I don't know. I've just never been a fan of Garcelle on this
I like
show.
Garcelle. I like her.
Really?
I do because I do like that she kind of like gets these ladies to be a little bit like she calls them out.
I think
You
she
know?
can't let her hair down, like for real. Like, and when she does, like if someone says, I don't know, I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
can see that a little bit. Like
Yeah.
she's always like on it a little bit. Like she's always like not one. Yeah, like not her
I
guard's
don't
not 100% down.
know. I don't know. I don't, and like she like low key judges like half of them and thinks like probably they're stupid. I just get that vibe from her. So I'm just not the biggest, it's an unpopular opinion. Don't come for me. I still love you guys, but I don't feel that. So there is a sneak peek for next week, Chantel. I don't think you saw it because I posted it super early and then we right away did this podcast. So there's a sneak peek for next week where Kyle's like opening up about her marriage to Mauricio and that she saw wedding pictures and,
Oh, I
you know,
saw this.
okay. So I want to ask your opinion about this. And so Kathy Hilton's like, okay, what did Kathy say? She basically like shit
She said
on,
that because I guess she was saying something about like he's dating someone younger. And she goes, "You can look like his daughter because," and like she insinuated that he looks so old.
oh
And
yes,
then
she's
yeah,
throwing major shade at Mauricio. And Kyle's like, I don't like that. That doesn't make me feel good. And by the way, Sutton and Eric are there and their eyes are like, oh my gosh. And Kathy's like, oh, well, I thought it would make you feel good. And then in the confessional, Kathy says how she does not like Mauricio and all this stuff. And I don't know how I felt about one thing about Kathy is Kathy, she's going to say how she feels, right? But I don't know how I felt about Kathy doing that because at the end of the day, Kyle's not this innocent bystander here, you know? And they have 4 kids with each other. The children are obsessed with their dad just as they are obsessed with their mom. So I get, Chantel, if you were to call me and talk shit, if this was happening to me on the side, you know, I totally get that to me to try and make me feel better. But on camera with 4 grown-ass kids, I don't know if I'd be okay. And I love Kathy. I love me some Kathy. But I don't know if I'd be okay with that.
She always says the off the wall shit. I think it's because like you said, she probably, especially during this whole last year, would talk so much shit, make Kyle feel really good, and like Kyle was receptive to it at the time because she was going through a lot. And now that it's like really like it's real, it's happening. He moved out. It's like she's feeling it now, you know, more than ever. She's like, I don't really like this feeling, and so like now she's like really even more sensitive to anybody talking really bad about him. And I don't think Kathy has gotten that clue yet. She's probably still back where like 6 months ago talking shit about Mauricio and like what he's done is makes Kyle feel good, and Kyle's just not there anymore. And especially on camera, she's very aware of that, and like Kathy's not. So she's like, dude, like now I'm gonna have to explain this. And
I don't think Kathy cares, Chantel. I don't think Kathy cares though.
I know, but I'm saying Kyle is now thinking in her head, like, now I have to explain this, you know? Like, you don't think Mauricio's going to call her up and be like, oh, look how Kathy said that, and then they're going to have a conversation.
100%. But I think Kyle, like, knows, hey, maybe you can talk about this behind closed doors, but you shouldn't be talking about this on camera, and you should know better. I don't know. I am obsessed with Kathy Hilton. She better be on every season moving forward. But I feel like I would be like, Kathy, what are you doing? Like, my kids are going to want to punch you.
100%.
And like, let's not go there and let's not do that. But we know Kathy has a huge problem with Mauricio. And that is truly the reason that Kyle and Kathy have always ever had issues is because of Mauricio. Now he's out of the picture. I do think though, Chantel, Kyle's going to regret this.
I had that feeling too. I just, you know, it just sucks because it's like, Mauricio, I've listened to him on podcasts and he's like a very, he's not a dwelling person. He like likes to make himself feel good. He likes to move on. He likes to like, you know, he meditates every day. I'm not saying that Kyle doesn't do all those things, but he seems like he'd be someone to move forward. And, you know, Kyle's going to live in this like regret a little bit. And I hope it doesn't for her because I like her so much and I want them both to be happy, but I feel like she's going to.
Well,
she's going to feel the brunt of it way more.
His conversation with him and PK, where he was like, you just got to enjoy these things, you know, like find enjoyment in and I was like, what? He said some weird, and I was like, oh my God, scary.
He's like that. He really
But I don't like that. I don't like that.
I know. He just is a person that doesn't like dwell on things. Like he wakes up in the morning with gratitude and is like, I'm not gonna, like, if he's sad, he said there's days that he's sad and whatever, but he's not gonna be like, he's not gonna ever be that person that's in a rut for 4 months sad. He's just not gonna ever be that person.
Yeah. So far, I mean, the episode was decent. I didn't want to recap detail to detail because then I would die, but I'm
actually shocked that PK and Mauricio wanted to film still.
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I love the fame. These men are so thirsty.
Yeah,
not at all. And maybe like it will like help their wives, and it'll also help. Not like they're trying to do that, but it also help people see their side of things. Because on one end, you have Dorit telling everyone he's an alcoholic. On the other end, he's like, you know what? I got sober and she doesn't listen. And everyone's like, yeah, Dorit doesn't listen. So I think it makes sense for them to still kind of be on.
I feel like Dorit to say that he's an alcoholic, it's still fair. Like that's a label she can use on him. Like he is, like he was an alcoholic or is, and you could still use that label because
I guess I don't know.
I think the first step in any of the like 12 steps is admitting that you are an alcoholic. Like you have to admit that to yourself.
Yeah. Well, I think he did. And he said that. He said that I don't know. I think if a recovering alcohol, I don't know.
No, I think you have to always use that label. I haven't went through it, but I feel like we watch so many like reality shows and documentaries.
Someone's about to come for you.
I know.
So don't leave us a bad review for that because we don't know. So just in case. But yeah, overall, I think it's going to be a good season because to me, last season was a terrible, horrible, probably one of the worst seasons of Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, Lisa Rinna one more thing. Erica did come out and say Lisa Rinna's never coming back on the show. And what's so crazy is I couldn't stand Lisa Rinna, but like you do need a villain. You do need a villain. So I kind of miss her on the show. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. But I think that's all. Is there anything else about Beverly Hills?
No, that's it.
Yeah, well, tomorrow we'll be back. We will be recapping Orange County, talking Salt Lake City, and talking Christmas photos, y'all.
Okay. Well, have a great day, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.